The Iowa DOT and City of Sioux City held a public hearing to present the proposed replacement for one of the city's busiest stretches of road, the Gordon Drive Viaduct. KTIV's Gabriela Quinones spoke with business owners who worry about the impact of the construction of that proposed viaduct.
The project will cost $197 million. Construction could start as early as the summer of 2027 and expected to be completed in 2030. DOT planner Sarah Tracy says the proposed viaduct will be built right next to the existing viaduct, which traffic will continue to use.
That is under the assumption that the current bridge will be structurally sound enough to carry traffic. It is right now. It will be inspected in May of this year, just to make sure it's inspected on an annual basis, just to make sure that it's safe.
The design of the proposed viaduct puts it just 10 feet south of the existing viaduct. The DOT deems this design to be the best one for a number of reasons.
It's for safety and also that we can maintain traffic through the area while we are under construction of the new bridge.
Some business owners express concerns about access to local businesses when the new viaduct is being built.
You might have to wind around a block to get to us. You might have to go up and around some other pathway to get to us. So I hope that Siouxland community thinks about all these local businesses and takes the extra step it takes to keep them alive.
Some business owners also express their frustrations with the limited communication the DOT has had about the possible relocation of certain properties when the new viaduct is built.
I mean, it's upset that we should mentally prepare. If they want to take it, they should let us know very clearly, and they should start talking to us. They have not contacted me yet. They have not talked about me. They have not talked to me about it, what they want to do.
The DOT says they will improve communication about changes to detours and potential relocations as they get closer to the final design.
We will sit down with businesses that are along that corridor that maybe are directly impacted, or we're going to be on detour, or that maybe one of their driveways is closed.
In Sioux City, Gabriela Quinones, KTIV News 4.
If you couldn't make it to tonight's meeting, you still can send comments to the DOT. You have until March 10th to do it. For a link to submit your feedback, just check out this story right now at KTIV.com.